Welcome to Goofy Getaways with your hosts, Amy Blades and Amy Fisher.
Hello and welcome to the Goofy Getaways podcast. I am Amy Blades, owner, founder, and CEO. I mean, I have to say all three things because it makes me sound
but you are
than what I am, but it is true.
You are.
I know. So excited to have you here. Our podcast is sponsored by our travel agency, Goofy Getaways. So with my introduction and letting you know all of that good stuff, let me introduce you to the even better stuff. I've got my counterpart here today, so I'll let her introduce herself. And then we have a guest, which we always really, really love. So I'm going to hand it over to my partner in crime.
Hello, I am the other Amy. I'm Amy Fisher. I'm our Vice President of Communication and Development here at Goofy Getaways and also a travel consultant. And today we are so excited. We've talked to you about Disney Cruise Line before, but we specifically want to talk to you a little bit more about a specific Disney Cruise Line ship, the Disney Wish, because it's beautiful. And one of our agents just recently went on the Disney Wish with her family, and she's going to be sharing some amazing tips and tricks with you all and sharing a bit about their experience. So, a wonderful travel consultant, would you like to share your name and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, y'all. I am Lauren Levesque. I am a travel consultant with Goofy Getaways. I've been with the company. I can't believe this is I'm in my second year. I've just loved helping families grow in their travel and making memories. And it's been incredible. And this was a really amazing experience for my family and I. So I am so excited to share it with you guys.
I love it so much. All right, well, let's kick it straight off. So all three of us have sailed on the Disney Wish. It is one of Disney Cruise Line's newer ships. It falls into the Triton class. So you also have the Disney Treasure and soon to be the Disney Destiny that sit in the same class of ship. But what we love about the Wish is that it sails out of Port Canaveral in Florida with like 3 and 4 night sailings, which is a great option for families and a great option if you're a first time cruiser. And Lauren, this is part of why like you picked the Wish for your family too. So can you tell us a little bit about like what made you decide to do, I mean, besides the fact that we're all obsessed with Disney and Disney Cruise Line.
But I mean, if you're going to have a first cruise, I feel like the Wish is a place to start for sure.
Totally. I mean, really, when I was looking at I knew I wanted to do a Disney cruise because I had not been on one since I was probably 11 years old, maybe younger. And I knew I wanted to do one with my kids. My husband was not 100% on board, which was fine. I was going to just take our 2 older boys. And when I was looking at itineraries, I was like, a 3-night sounds kind of ideal because I was like, Nick and Addison can come to the parks with us. And then the boys and I can kind of hop onto the cruise, do those 3 nights, and then we can all head home together. And then we started looking into the Wish and my husband started feeling guiltier and guiltier because it is just princesses and Frozen. And there's so many different little things that he's like, Addison can't miss out on. And mind you, I'm one person, even with grandparents on the ship, 3 kids on a boat is a lot. So I was like, I'm going to take the 2 older ones and then she'll have her day in the sun. And then my husband was like, no, we'll just all go. And I was like, thank you. Especially once he found out that the staterooms fit 5 comfortably. We're a family of 5. That's not like it doesn't fit into the normal mold of travel for families. So the fact that we all got, like, my husband and I got our bed, and then each kid had a separate bed. No one was sharing a bed. Like, is like such a breath of release for like a family to go into the room and like know that everyone's going to actually sleep because they're alone. It was really, really nice. So that's how we decided on the Disney Wish. That's how we decided on the 3-night sailing. And that's how all 5 of us, plus my dad and stepmom, came on the cruise with us.
I love that. Amy, you have a family of 5 too, right?
Yes. And was our first cruise as a family was on the Dream. And I remember I was kind of chuckling because I hear so much about husbands who are a little apprehensive. And then mine was super apprehensive because I think he thought he was going to be bored. And now Chuck is like, he loves cruising. We're avid cruisers, but he does like cruising a lot. But I think the same thing when you're a family of 5 And there's just kind of a different in age too with the kids, and you want them to kind of be there, but then have their own space. That's one of the things that I think, well, there's a lot of things I think Disney Cruise Line does right, but they were so smart in the way that they did that, because they have a lot of staterooms that are for 5, and other cruise lines do not. That 3-night, 4-night sailing too, Lauren, that's always, I always tell people the same thing. Hey, if you've not cruised, just do a 3-night, just so that you can actually get a little taste, because I do think it's a little taste. I personally, I don't even like doing 3 nights because they go so fast, but we snuck a 3-night in like a month and a half ago, just because I wanted to get on the Wish again, and it was fun. We're in Florida, so you just, go right to Port Canaveral. But all of the things that you said, Lauren, are the same reason that we picked Disney Cruise Line as a family.
It was so good. And I'm excited. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get on a fantasy at some point. But the Wish really is such a special ship to me. Now, it was our first family one. So, and it's beautiful. It has everything that you could want for your family. It has plenty of adult spaces. It has plenty of spaces that are really for adults, but your kids can come to. And I mean, I'm just going to segue right into the kids club. I don't know what kind of magic they do down there.
What about the slide?
My gosh, the slide was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the hand washing stations.
I know.
You just
I need one of those.
In my house, please. Like, I want one at every entrance and exit and in my kitchen. And it was phenomenal. We didn't leave that boat sick, which was, to me, I was like, well, we're probably going to get sick. It's fine. We didn't. But the kids could not leave the Oceaneers Club. I tried. I was like, guys, we have to eat, and the one that my boys are, when we sailed, they were 8 and 6. So if I mess up those, they were 8 and 6. If I say 7 and 9, because that's what they are now, but because they had birthdays shortly after we got off the ship, they were in the Oceaneers Club. So they don't feed them in that club. They do games and prizes and like little candies here and there if it's if you didn't have like a dietary restriction on their in their intake form. But I was like, guys, we have to go eat now. Like, let's
you
go
have to leave the club. I remember my husband would have his feelings hurt because the first one, but I mean, even the first that we did, though, my younger boys were like 6 and 7, and when we're on a family vacation, and I like to sit at the pool, or I like to do the spa, and the kids can go to the kids club. And my husband would be so upset because he'd want to play with the boy, like want to go do mini golf, and he'd be like, they don't want to leave the kids club. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like, I know, but I mean, you could hang with me here, but they love it. They love it. And so I know, I'm like, they never had things like that when we were little. I say that a lot, but those kids clubs are phenomenal.
And you did such a good job.
I was amazed. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, Lauren, you were talking about how, like, you saw the princess things on the Wish too for your daughter. But like in the Oceaneers Club, they have a whole Star Wars bay. They have a whole Avengers like thing. And I don't even know what it is. Yeah. You're just like, oh my gosh. And like the Black Panther comes and meets people in there. You're just like, oh my gosh. Like, why don't we need this for adults?
I know. I was like, I know. That's why I went to every open house. I was like, hey, Chewie.
Yes, exactly. I know. And I love that it can be, and it's not, I mean, I have boys that loved princesses, and I know
my boys do love princesses.
Girls that love like Spider-Man. And so I love it because it's very fluid. But I will say, I love that it isn't just all princesses. And sometimes Disney gets that rap, and I think they're doing a really good job, especially kind of with that Marvel, bringing those characters in. But I do feel like there's so much for these girls and boys to do, just a lot of diversity in characters. And I feel like very inclusive. So
it was really cool. It was really cool to see how many characters were just on the ship at all times. Like, no matter when you looked in that Navigator app, like it was every 15 minutes there was a character somewhere, which was so cool. Or I mean, there was one time we were walking up to dinner and Rapunzel was just sitting in the grand hall on the floor with a bunch of little girls around her, talking about what they'd pack in their picnic baskets. So we stopped, and my daughter got to sit down, and my boys too, and enjoy that conversation. Actually, that was a lie. My husband went and got the boys out of the kids club while Addison and I sat down with Rapunzel.
But it's moments like that she's going to remember forever.
And she still does every weekend. Are we going back on a Disney cruise? I'm like, we're working on it. We're working on it, baby.
Eventually.
Eventually. So
And
the
this is
cool
why we
thing,
book a placeholder.
Yes.
and this is, and
Yes.
I didn't, and I'm so mad at myself. So I
It's
always book
okay.
my bounce back, but I didn't do my
You
placeholder. I
weren't thinking
panicked,
about,
and
yeah.
so don't be me. Cautionary tale, because I regret it, and I could have canceled it at no penalty if I had just booked it. But book it while you're there, because if you don't, and make sure to mention your travel agent while you're there, making sure you mention your travel advisor. Um, so the cool thing about, if we can stay on if we're just going to stay on the kids club for just a second longer. So they also have what's called the Small World Nursery. And this is for 6 months. And I know that sounds really young to a lot of moms. I would have been hesitant to, what up about? I don't know, probably. I probably would have been hesitant about leaving my 6-month-old.
But you
And
would have
then
done. I mean, they're
I would have
CPS
done it. It's
certified, they're trained,
Disney.
it's Disney. Yeah.
And once you meet them, you're like, oh,
Oh,
you're probably better equipped for this. Here you go.
yeah.
From 6 months old to 3. And then the Oceaneers Club is from 3 to 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
12.
No,
10.
you're right. 10.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Um, and then obviously in the Oceaneers Club, they break those up into ages. But what we found was the 3 for the Oceaneers Club was 100% potty trained. The 3 for so we kind of got to flex between the Oceaneers Club and the Small World Nursery, because Addison she's never been to outside. At that time, she had never been to outside daycare, preschool, anything like that. So she was a little bit more hesitant of those big group settings. So we felt that the Small World Nursery was a better fit for her. They did a better job of keeping her engaged one-on-one. They're more staffed. However, this is a paid service. So I believe on our sailing, it was $8 an hour,
Oh my gosh, you can't beat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I think we pay our babysitters $22 an hour.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah. I was like, man, that's,
yeah.
yeah.
So that was well worth it. And it's what she needed, and I loved that there was that flexibility between the ages. Now, a couple of times she is potty trained, but we were on vacation, so there was a couple times we did go into the Oceaneers Club. Like, for example, they have what's called Coronation Day on your second day of sailing. And it was so
I'm
cute.
so excited. This just sounds adorable.
I know.
So you go, so it's probably going to be different times. So make sure you and your travel advisor are on the same page as if this is something that your family is interested in, or talk to the people at the Oceaneers Club when you get onto the ship, and they will tell you exactly what their schedule is. So so a lot of characters pop in and out. This is a scheduled event. So the kids go down, they check in, they go down the slide, they say bye to mom and dad, and then like we scurry down the stairs so we can see them in the window. And Anna and Elsa walk in, and it's just during Coronation Day on like the events of coronation. We don't really know exactly what happened because we can't be in the kids club when it's running. You adults are only permitted during open house hours, and obviously they'll call you if there's a problem. But it was so cute seeing Addison's face literally light up. Like, she's met Anna and Elsa before. We are a Disney family, and we've always been a Disney
It's more
family. But this was
intimate, I feel like.
It was more intimate. There was probably maybe 20 kids there.
That's what I mean. The
with
way that
Anna
they
and
do
Elsa just
character
surrounding them.
interactions with these kids.
It was
Yes.
wild.
Yes.
It was phenomenal.
Yes.
And then eventually we did have to leave, but Addison talked about it the entire time.
Oh.
She absolutely loved it. So it was just the most incredible
Did she
experience.
give you like a highlight for her of like when you talked with your kids about the kids club? Did they each have like a favorite thing that they were able to do in the kids club?
So the boys definitely could articulate it a little bit better than Addison. Addison's
Yeah.
was definitely like princesses. Like, that was what she
Yes.
wanted. The boys, Rhett Rhett is a good time kid. He is down for a good time. Gavin has a little, he's the oldest, so firstborn syndrome. He is a little bit harder to keep engaged and entertained. And it's not that he's like, he just is like, has a harder time getting into things and having things keep his interest, where Rhett's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? Like, but in like, loves the games that they were playing and the activities that they were doing. Gavin really got into the Avengers campus. I don't know what you could, he's explained it to me. And in my brain, I'm like, okay, so you like built stuff. I think that's what they did.
Like build it on on computers and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like
on
you're
computers
building
and
your
stuff.
own.
It was very interactive.
Yes.
Whatever they were building something. So it was almost like, yeah, different. It was like tools and building, but it was all on, the screen. But then they would go and it was interactive with other kids. It was interactive with the cast members in the Oceaneers Club. Another thing I loved about the Oceaneers Club is every time my kids went down or I went to go pick them up, they knew them by name and by face, which I thought was so cool. Because there's a lot of kids running in and out of there, and the fact that they knew these kids and they've been there for a day, they really bet their cast members really well for the Oceaneers Club and for the Small World Nursery. We loved that so much. So I'm I'm gonna segue into, if this is okay,
You go right
how
ahead.
we
We
approached
do
this
it.
cruise. So unpopular opinion, an unpopular way to do this, but I wanted to do this because I have so many people who so many of my guests travel on cruises and they panic. They're like, well, what if I don't get this? And what if I don't get this? And what if we don't do this? And I'm like, okay,
Because
these are
there is a lot of preparation
There's a
beforehand.
lot. There's a
There
lot to
really,
do.
there
So yeah,
really is.
yeah.
And to my brain, at that moment in time, we had just moved to South Carolina. We were kind of like in survival mode, like moving and getting settled. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be an amazing vacation. And I'm just going to let Mickey take the wheel. And I just need to put this cruise on the back burner. It's booked. It's going to be amazing no matter what happens. I had a few things on my list that I wanted to do. Our passports were delayed because we had moved, lots of things, lots of factors. So this is just a tale of someone who did this very sporadically. You can do it very planned, and that is what you can do. However, there was two things I really, really wanted to do. I really wanted to do Paolo's brunch. So I did check the Navigator app pretty regularly to see and it popped up. I grabbed it. And then we saw this thing called Olaf's Royal Picnic on the list of activities that you could book. And I talked to my husband about it. I was like, so there's this thing called Olaf's Royal Picnic. And I was like, I'm not one. I personally don't love to watch too many videos about the vacation that I'm going to do because I feel like sometimes it can spoil my interpretation of what is to be expected. I just kind of like to go into things without knowing. I knowing a little bit, but I don't like to know everything. I kind of just want to enjoy the moment and see
Yeah.
what the
The element of
experience is going to be for
surprise.
me. Yeah. And
Yeah.
every family is going to be different. Some families are going to love some things and some aren't. So
Yeah.
I just didn't want anyone else's experience to spoil mine or make my expectation too high.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like it would be kind of fun. Let's try this royal picnic. The reason we hesitated is because the price tag is the price tag.
Yeah. It is
And
it is expensive.
it doesn't give a lot to the description doesn't tell you a lot. It says that it's going to be Olaf's summer picnic, and there is only one per sailing. So the 4-night and the 3-night, there's one per sailing. So it's going to be on either your day at sea or one of the ports. So ours was on the day that we were in Nassau, we were planning on staying on the boat anyways. So this we couldn't find reservations for until we got on the boat.
I still can't believe you did this. I'm so interrupting you because I can't believe you got this because I tried and tried because of your recommendation and I couldn't get it. Sorry. I'm so excited that you got it. But
I'm still like amazed that we did. So if this is something that sounds cool to your family, make sure to talk to your travel advisor.
yes.
Make sure that you prioritize this because we did get very, very lucky in getting this, but it is so intimate. So it's $250 per child. I'm just going to say that. And we were like, well, we're either going to laugh about this later that it was like, well, Disney lost their minds on that pricing. No offense. Or it's going to be absolutely worth every penny. And if we know Disney, usually it's absolutely worth every penny. So I was kind of going on that. So I got onto the boat. I went to guest services, literally first thing I did, I went to guest services. I said, we have a family of 5. We'd really love to get the Olaf's Royal Picnic. Half an hour later, I got a text saying that we got a seating. So this was on the second day. It's like a picnic. So make sure to feed your kids lunch ahead of time because this is not going to be like your typical standard kid food. It's going to be a lot of finger sandwiches, finger cakes, scones, muffins, those types of things. Like, I don't think there
Like
was
a
any
picnic
protein.
you would see on a Disney cartoon.
Exactly. Yes. Very cute.
A little more
after
like
picture
snacky picnic versus
snacky.
like your
Yeah.
full
Yes.
lunch picnic. Okay.
Yes. And picture like a on it like cucumber sandwiches, like a tea lunch. That's kind of like what it
Yes.
Okay.
That's
it's an
okay.
actual true like picnic. Um, but it's an entire show that takes place in the restaurant Arendelle, one of the main restaurants on the ship, and they have like a stage. And this is not the measurement, but it's a stage, and the only tables that were seated were the ones directly around the stage. So I can't imagine there being more than, I'm not very good at math, like 10 tables seated. It's very small, very intimate. So it's this whole like Olaf comes in, and then there's the Anna is now engaged. So this takes place after Frozen 2, but they're basically throwing a party. And oh, it's Anna's first party at the castle. That's what it is. But the party is going to be Olaf's. Because
Okay.
Anna, she always loves to share her spotlight.
Right.
Yes.
Um,
Especially with the
so
snowman.
especially with the snowman. So I'm not going to give too much away because I just think that if it's something that a family wants to experience, they should go and experience it for themselves. But there are gifts.
I was
It
just
is an
going to say,
entire
without saying what they are, you did
yeah,
say that you were blown away by
blown
right.
away.
I mean,
My
you
kids.
said,
I mean, it's a
yeah.
picnic, so we got picnic blankets. We each kid got all three got exactly the same thing. So we have three really great quality picnic blankets. We've used them so many times since we've been there, and because we're a picnic and park kind of family. That's like my ideal day. And it came with a stuffy. It came with like a souvenir cup, a souvenir back, or like a drawstring backpack. But all the quality was amazing. Like these weren't chintzy gifts. It came with a really nice coloring book and crayons. And again, it also came. So then after the show, you get because this is so intimate and so exclusive. I'll say you get like the VIP treatment from the characters as well. The characters come over to each table. They spend a ton. So it's Kristoff. Obviously, Olaf is animatronic. So he's off doing his thing. So you get Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff, and they all come over to your table. And so you get warm Elsa because this is after Frozen 2. She's found out who she is. Kristoff and Anna are super happy. So like it's just a really cool experience to see the characters like dive into those characters as well. Our family knows a lot about Frozen. So
Probably too
we know
much.
these
Same. It's
characters.
okay.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
judgment. It's a
No.
good, like, they're good movies.
They're good
Yeah,
movies. They have great
absolutely.
messages.
Yes.
So it was really cool. And then at the end, you go and you take portraits with the characters. And I didn't realize this, but they gave us three. So it was one of Addison alone with the characters, one of the boys alone with the characters, and then one of us as a family of five with the characters. And they gave them to us in like these really beautiful like picture savers, almost like what a diploma would come in.
Yeah.
Like just it really, and they were beautiful pictures and they were printed. So it was a
And
really
that
cool
was, you
experience.
got that like included,
That
right?
was
It
all
wasn't an
included.
additional.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
awesome.
So for the price tag, I really think it was worth it. Like the memories, my kids still talk about it. I'm obsessed with it. The memories that I made as a mom and my
Watching
husband
your
made as a
kids.
dad watching this was so cool. Like
I think
it
it's a
really was
great,
incredible.
like, this is a great segue into talking about like the dining options on the Wish, because when you talk about Arendelle
Hmm.
and just the immersiveness that I
Yeah.
feel like Disney kind of recreated, if you will, on these
Hmm.
ships. I'm talking about like the Wish, the Treasure,
Hmm.
which is my favorite ship. We've got the Destiny coming. I just think the out of box thinking, if you will. Like, I've always loved Disney Cruise Line, and I always like the restaurants are decorated, but the way that they really are kind of out of the box now. And now they've gone back even like to the wonder and to the magic with like Tiana's and with Rapunzel, like they're adding those components. But I just feel like the way that and I love, okay, so if you are an avid Disney cruiser, and I will say the first time I went on the Wish, was during the preview, and I was not impressed. I didn't like the layout. I didn't like I was just kind of a really Debbie Downer. And I'm like, okay, Amy, you got to snap out of this. And to be honest, that's why I wanted to go on the Wish again, because when I did the Treasure, I fell in love with the Treasure. And my son kept saying to me, it's the same layout, Mom. It's just a different thing. I don't understand. You need to go back on the Wish. So we did go back on the Wish. And I'm so glad that we did, because I love it. And the reason I wanted to kind of really talk about just the decor and the way that, like, when you walk into Arendelle, it's a long space. It's not like you just, walk up to a door and you open up. I mean, you're taking a journey.
Thing.
It's like
Yes.
a journey, and the food
You feel
is
like you're
also
walking
part
through
of
the hall of the
journey.
castle. Truthfully, like
You
that's what
do.
you feel like.
You're
Is
in a
you're
castle.
walking through the hall of the castle
Yes.
as you're walking into Arendelle. It's
And I
amazing.
Doing it as a pirate was a little weird, but it was pirate night. So
But it is what it is. But one of the cool things when I did that media sailing, there were several things that weren't open, where there are so many awesome things about being able to do like the media sailing, because you can get on, you can get pictures, you can experience. But I always say, okay, after you do a media event, then you need to make sure and get on. And the reason that I even bring that up is because I think that when we were on the media event, we had some amazing opportunities with people that make like all of the decisions about the ship, right? And we were able to meet the chef that designed. He did a presentation, and we were able to meet him all of the menu on every single in every single restaurant. So listening to that then made me so intrigued that they are literally taking you on a journey from the decor to the costuming to the service to a show to the menu. And I really liked the food at Arendelle. I really like the show also. I feel like it's a good balance of being able to eat, but also being able to have a show, so you can still kind of enjoy.
They did a really
Tell me
great
if you
job
think
with
I'm
that.
wrong, but I think,
No, they did a really good job balancing, like, when the food came out, during which segments of because this is not just a sit down dinner. This is like a dinner and a show, which is
experience.
really great with little kids because they kept the kids engaged the entire time. No screens attached. It was really bringing it back to the good old days of like good family fun entertainment without like kind of, what's kind of crept into all of our lives, our life especially. I mean, I don't think we're abnormal in that. Yeah, it's 2020 whatever, 2025 I think still.
Because I really think so, just because, with Amy and I, we're super honest. And so, this might be an unpopular opinion. The Marvel restaurant, while the theming is cool, it is way too much for me. And it's way too much for my kids. It is too loud. It's too congested. Like, you're so close to everybody. You can't hear your servers. I feel like with Arendelle, they hit a nail on the head. They did a really good job. Marvel, personally, is a night that we will, you don't really know what rotation you're gonna get, but it's one where we like to do Paulo and obviously Ashante. But the theming is so cool and the food is cool. It's just that it's so loud.
Well, it's loud, and it's Pim's Test Kitchen. So this is what I've told a lot of my guests. It's kind of like that whole play on like they're testing things. It's like how Marvel, like how that whole franchise works.
Right.
Like
it's California
like
Adventure,
California.
that whole
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
Yes.
It's the test kitchen.
Yeah.
They know some of the food is super weird. Like that's kind of the whole point.
Yes.
However,
yes.
I'm going to, if it's a good time, I kind of want to segue into the service that we experienced as a family when it came to the restaurants.
Yes.
So our first night was Marvel. So your embarkation day it's cool. Like they have everything really planned out and they do things really well. We got to dinner. We chose the late seating. I don't want to be rushed. We're usually eating late and it's vacation. Disney does something where either my kids are up and happy or they're asleep. Like, I don't know what it is Disney does because not all vacations are like that, but Disney does a really great job. So late dinner didn't scare me. We got into Marvel and our family is of the neuro spicy type. So we walk in and I look at my son and I'm like, this is going to be a lot. This is going to be a lot. Okay. So we sit down and I'm already like, okay, I'm panicking because it's loud,
Uh-huh.
it's dark.
I love Lauren so much, and because I know her so well, I'm visualizing this right now. Like, no,
Yes.
Like
you're like
you can like see my
starting to
yep, I'm
sweat it.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be calm for my kids. The bread's a funky color and
Hmm.
it's not white. And we need some butter.
Yeah.
So there you have a team of servers that move with you to these different restaurants. This is the first time this group of servers has met us, and they come and they take your drinks and they introduce themselves. And this poor girl, she was so sweet, and the fact that she stuck with me till the end, I will ask for her every single cruise. And I'm drawing a blank on her name now. We walk in and she's like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "A martini." Like, but I don't know. What do I need? And no, she's like, and she kind of just, and this to me, we don't live in a world where I feel like anyone's neurodivergence needs to be hidden, shamed. I am actually happy when people don't pretend like they can't see that we have special needs in our family. So she kind of gestures to my son. She's like, "What do we need?" And I was like, "Chocolate milk." And then I asked her, I was like, my daughter can't have cow's milk. I said, "Do you have chocolate almond milk or soy milk? She can't have oat milk." They didn't that night. They had lemonade. She was fine. So my oldest son ordered white milk because that's what he does. And she just made it and she asked, she's like, "Do you want extra French bread rolls?" And I was like, "Yes, please." So just immediately, without me even really having to say anything, just went above and beyond. Now, was it our favorite meal? No. Was the experience cool? Yes. When Spider-Man came, and
They
they
rotate. You don't know who you're
rotate.
going to get, but
You
yeah.
don't know who you're going to get. We got Spider-Man, which was super cool. Came rushing into the restaurant, guns blazing, doing his thing, being crazy. He spent a lot of time with each table. He spent a little extra time with ours, I felt like, which is again like just felt really special to me. Like I don't know if he was sensing something or he spent a lot of time with Rhett, which was super, super cool. And Gavin and Addison, but they also weren't as engaged. Well, Addison was, but it was really, really cute. So then we left and we went to the bayou and we got our nightcap. And that was actually the kids went back to the kids club. Although the kids club closed early that night because of open house. They did a second open house after the sailing. So um, after not after the sailing, after dinner. You
We
know what I
knew
mean?
what you meant. After dinner.
We
During the
got you.
sailing,
So
after
It's
then
dinner.
good.
We got
the
you. We got
next,
you. We got you all flustered all over again.
yeah, you did. So, another thing that we were able to get that we did not get, and this is a huge one that people are like, "Oh, I didn't get it, I missed it," is the Royal Gathering.
Mm.
Those time slots go
So
Mhm.
fast.
so fast. We got three opportunities. There, like we were given three different time slots for the Royal Gathering on our cruise once we got onto the ship and went to go
Oh,
see guest
nice.
services. So please don't stress about the Royal Gathering. Please,
And
you will
always go
get
to guest service. That's a great tip that
always
just
the
they
first
really
thing.
try to help. Yeah.
They do. And they were fantastic. They did such a good job. The whole anytime we had to go to guest services, they did such a good job. So the next morning we went to, and this is like another thing that was just really cool about the Disney cruise and the character experiences that you have. We went to the Marvel Academy to do a meet and greet with Spider-Man, and then we met Chewie after Chewbacca. And when we got up to meet Spider-Man, he's like, "Hey, where are you guys from last night? You've been working on your webs." Like,
Oh,
and
Oh
that's
then he like
pretty
my
cool.
specifically mentioned,
gosh.
and it wasn't just, and it's not just something he said, like he specifically mentioned something about us.
That's
And
pretty
he's like,
cool.
and then he was like playing with me. He's like, "Mom, you're going to put your phone away this time, right? Like no one wants to like see us practicing our webs." It was just because Spider-Man's a teenager and he's funky.
Yes. Yes.
So it was just really, really cool the way that the genuine character interactions. We've met characters in Disney and it's special and it's wonderful and absolutely it's meaningful. This was just different. It was really, really cool and different. Um, so bringing that back to Arendelle, like you guys said, it's like walking into a castle. Like that experience in itself is like grand. Um, grand. Wish I didn't do it as a pirate.
And
That's
if
fine.
you're on the
Pirate night was
3 night
amazing.
sailing, that's the thing too, is
Yeah.
if you do a 4 night sailing and there's the
Yes.
pirate night, you do get an experience at each restaurant that would be at your typical restaurant experience and then pirate night. But if you do the 3 night, that's just one of the, I wouldn't say a downside, but you do
It's
get the whole,
yeah.
yeah.
it's cool. And looking back on it now, it's actually
a
funny. And it
memory.
also is one of my favorite things about Disney. You can go to one of the nicest restaurants and dressed kind of,
Dressed as a pirate.
I mean,
Like, and
dressed as a
nobody
pirate.
bats an eye. Nobody bats an
Nope.
eye at you.
Nope. Not at all.
Did you go to the Marceline Market at all for anything? Because I think
Yeah.
Disney really did an amazing job of
Those taco bowls.
changing from like the food is so
That's
good.
the Festival of
theming,
Foods. That's the
decorating.
pool deck food.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
the pool deck food on the Wish and the Treasure and soon to be the Destiny. Best cruise food that's included with your cruise fare on any cruise ship I've ever been on.
Sometimes I would go up there and
Yes,
want to eat.
honestly, I probably would have. Yeah, it was phenomenal, and I understand why so many people do that because it's delicious, and there's literally something for everyone. I don't know that we went to that market. It's such
It's
a
a buffet.
open for
It's a
dinner.
buffet. No, it's just
just
it's the buffet on the Wish, so it's open for breakfast and lunch.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Yes, we did. It was incredible. We went there the morning that we got off for Castaway Key.
Okay. Key. Yep.
Yep. Key. Castaway Key.
Yep.
I'm a 90s baby, so when they made
it,
they came out.
Hey, it takes everyone. Yeah. Everyone gets stuck on it sometimes.
The day we got off for the private island was the day that we ate at the Marceline Market, and it was delicious. They did a really great job, and there was actually a time we had to. I mean, they're Mickey waffles; everyone wants them, so we had to wait for them. But they did a really good job of keeping everyone making sure it was in order. They did such a good job.
I think the options for the food are, you've always got your fresh fruit. I love the options that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish that we had done that more, honestly, but 3 nights.
Because you can always do, room service for breakfast, or there's always a sit down restaurant available. But I really like going up there. It's a little more laid back. You can kind of sit by the water. It's
the views on the Wish were incredible. Our favorite breakfast was brunch at Paolo's. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, how can I?
Obviously,
that's the best.
Hands
down.
down.
Oh goodness,
that was insane. And we got one of everything. And our waiter was so knowledgeable about everything.
It's amazing. The service is impeccable.
It is extra, but it was not a lot extra. It wasn't $250 extra per person. I'll tell you that for free. But it was such a cool experience.
I think so.
And the views in Paolo's.
You need to go there for dinner on your next sailing.
I know.
Because that's
what I told my husband. Yeah, I was like, maybe we will skip Marvel and send the kids we'll feed the kids on the pool deck and then send them to the kids club, and then him and I will go have a dinner.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely need to do that. But the service is always so amazing. Whether you're in Palo or in one of the other restaurants, or even again, at the buffet, right? And I think we've talked about this on other podcast episodes. I feel like as travel consultants, we say this to our clients all the time. But the service on Disney Cruise Line it's so far above and beyond. And it's just so amazing, what they do and how, I know you were started, they remember, the kids at the kids club, remembering the kids' names, or
they remember everything.
All the little details. It's just so impressive.
That just reminded me of something that was really special to us, is that our server remembered my kids' drink orders. And not only did she remember their drink orders, she remembered that Addison couldn't have cow's milk, and they didn't have almond milk or soy milk in the restaurants. So she worked in the buffet during the day, and then she would take almond milk, make it chocolate for Addison, and then bring it down for dinner and keep it in the fridge until our seating.
Gosh. Yeah.
And she didn't have to, that was above and beyond, out of her way. Definitely did not need to do that, but it made it so special for Addison. It was really, really cool. It was really, really special. So just those attention to details, that's the Disney difference. Attention to details. And it's chocolate milk. It's not like she's making any extra money off of it. It's not a cocktail. So it was just really, I'm
how did your kids do in
1923? The boys got up and went back to the kids club. They had some bread and said, "Can we go back?" And I said, Fine. It's our last night. Go ahead. Enjoy yourselves. You'll eat late. We ordered chicken tenders to the room at like 11 p.m. And this is not, we are a very structured family. We have early bedtime. So like, this is not like we are a go with the flow family, but on Disney time we are. Addison fell asleep. And it was I think my favorite meal. I don't even remember did I get the pasta? I might have gotten the pasta. I don't really remember, but I remember
The
loving
theming
it.
is beautiful for probably more for adults than kids, but I
Yes.
love looking at all
Yeah.
of the drawings, and I just think
It was
the
really
artifacts
beautiful.
that they have, it's really cool.
It's just the only one that doesn't have any type of like a show or entertainment. So like Marvel has like interactive. So if you've done that the first 2 nights, like 1923 is great. It's lovely. But if you've done the other ones first, then your kids are probably like, where's the show?
I would agree.
Well, and that's where they kind
true.
of were like, so what's tonight? I'm like,
Dinner.
dinner.
Food, just normal
Yeah.
food.
And they're like, we're going to go play. And I was like,
Bye.
got it. Yep. Enjoy. And that's what I would say to my guests traveling with little kids is that if they ever want to have an adult dinner and like their kids need to see Marvel, then definitely do Marvel. It was a really cool experience. And we got through it. I don't want to say get through it. It was enjoyable. It's just
different.
a little shell. It's just a little shell
I think
shocking
it's
and a little
good
different.
to have this conversation ahead of time. And that's,
Yeah.
with your travel consultant for sure. Because I
Not
think
everything is going to be like amazing for everyone. I had a guest that just went on the Wish and they were obsessed with Marvel. They thought it was the best but that's what they loved. And that was
just
great.
preparing them.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So again, one person's experience can never match, is not
No,
usually going to match
exactly.
another's.
Nope.
But I just like to tell people like what to expect just so they know.
Absolutely.
And then they can make the decision for their family. And I always say, just try something the way it's supposed to be tried, maybe the first time. And I get that not everyone can go on 2 Disney cruises in their life. Like sometimes it's going to be a one and done. There is something for everyone, but 1923, if we do get to go on the Wish again, or it will probably be a night that either we feed the kids early and we just go, because I really liked the dinner and it's included in your cruise fare. So I'm like, we would just go as adults or go to Paolo's or the other adult restaurant that I'm drawing a blank on. Amy.
Ashante.
Ashante.
Yes, thank you.
It's incredible.
Although French food is not always my favorite. So
I'm going to tell you though, it's phenomenal. But
I will
quick,
also
let's
say
talk
that
about
they usually,
our,
but hold on. So just a quick note for people for Ashante, they will have a French as well as like an Americanized menu. So just as an FYI, do not.
Yeah.
If you're looking for an if you're looking for an upscale dining experience and you're like, oh, I'm still a little bit of like, I won't lie, I like to try things, but I'm not always the most adventurous eater. Mm-hmm. It's still worth it. Like go try like Remy's or Ashante or whatever. So
it's
just
worth it.
And I like to try new things. It's just I know I've tried French food and I'm like,
yeah, I think just give it a shot.
Yeah. So maybe we'll try it next
incredible.
Time. Yeah.
Real quick, the food, because it's your first time on Castaway. So the food, what was your thought on the food at Castaway too? Because that is included in your sailing. So
it is included in the sailing. So Castaway was honestly, I think, the perfect day. Disney set us up for success the entire, like every step of the way. They have a video you can watch about how to get, like when to get off, how to get off, everything is set up beautifully. They take care of you. They make sure that you know what you're doing. So they try and take all the stress away from you. This is your vacation. That's their job. They should be doing that. So the food on Castaway, I thought I was really surprised. We just got burgers because I really wasn't in the mood for like it's like barbecue style, but they also had burgers. I think they might have had hot dogs.
They usually do. Yeah. They usually have like burgers, hot dogs, and then like ribs and chicken, I think.
Yeah. We went down some cornbread. We had a lot of cornbread. It was so good.
Yes.
The cookies that they had were also delightful.
Yes.
But those burgers, honestly, they hit the spot. It was
and
good.
They cook them fresh, like right. Yeah, they're grilling
they cook them right there.
As you're getting. Yep. If you ever have a chance to do a cabana, I strongly recommend doing a cabana on Castaway.
Okay.
We did a cabana on Castaway, and it was incredible. I love Castaway anyway. To me, I just feel like it's got to be what heaven. I'm like, this is what heaven,
This
I
is
think,
must
is
be.
going
I
to be
know, it's
like.
beautiful.
And then having, the thing I loved about the cabana is that it's private. You know what I mean? So you kind of feel
Yeah,
like you're
that's
a little
nice.
more secluded. But I
Yeah,
think
we were
that
definitely eating in the sand.
the
They
island
had tables,
is, yeah, but it
but
is paradise. Like it really
yeah,
is.
the crystal clear blue waters. I
Yeah,
mean, and our day was warm and the water was perfect. And it was like core memories for me because I went there as a kid with my dad. And then my dad was on this sailing. So seeing him play with my kids in the water, like it really was just like that full circle moment. Um, which was really, it's those memories. Like I know he said multiple times, like he's gonna like cherish them forever. I know I'm going to cherish them forever. My kids, hopefully we'll be able to do it again with Addison when she's a little bit older, so she can really get some of those core memories. I know, I mean, she still talks about it, and we show her pictures, so I know she's gonna remember too. But Castaway was really special to our family. It was a really beautiful day.
it's
Like
like one of my
nothing.
favorite things about Disney Cruise Line. And then when you get an opportunity to do Lookout,
Look out.
it that's even
I mean, the
that's
fact that they were
stunning
able
too.
to put that island, uh,
And the way that they are so environmentally
just
cautious with
yes,
Mhm.
everything
because
that
that's
they
such a
do.
protected area of the
Yeah.
Bahamas.
Yes.
It's like very much untouched.
It's
So when I heard they
beautiful.
were putting an island there, I was like, "What?" Or like a
It's
private,
beautiful. A private,
Yeah,
they're
their
yeah.
private
docking.
port.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, but if they're allowing it, like they must be conserving it, and of
Oh, and
course
it's
Disney
Yeah.
amazing. Like they
has.
teach
It's
you about
so beautiful.
conservation.
It is
Hmm.
I mean,
so,
I haven't
so
personally
beautiful.
seen it, but I have plans
Like
in my head.
pictures don't do it justice right now for people, but like, I mean, because the sailing that when we did our Goofy Getaway sailing, we got to stop at both Castaway and Lookout.
Literally the week before we went, we missed each other by a day.
We did.
Literally, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, oh my gosh, that like Lookout is Castaway is lovely. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
lovely.
Mhm.
But Lookout
It's
is
different. Yeah.
like you feel like you're in a picture. You're just like, oh my gosh, this is like the most amazing travel magazine. I'm in this photo right now.
Yeah.
And it's
It's paradise
so
for sure.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It is so
So
cool.
But I mean, just
I
with,
love that.
talking about cruising with kids, it just like that's what I love is that Disney does a really good job, even with those like private islands and the culture that you're able to teach your kids and things that they're going to see that maybe they wouldn't typically see. But I feel like when
Mhm.
you travel with kids, sometimes people are like, oh, a beach day, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah, really, a beach day.
Well, and now that like I'm not landlocked, but I am all the way away from as far as away from the ocean as I can get in South Carolina. It was really nice for our family to go. Like the beaches when we lived in New England was just part of our life. And now that it's kind of not, it was actually like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really so special. And I'm so happy that we're at the beach together. And a beach day to my family is like, we love a beach day. Um, and it was just, obviously it's in the Bahamas. So like, can't go wrong there either.
Right, weather-wise. And
Yes.
exactly.
Speaking of like families on the Disney cruise, I know we're probably running out of time because we can never stop talking, especially when it comes to Disney. But coming out of our state, one thing they did really cool, and I know every cruise line has their version of this, but I'm speaking from like a family standpoint and a mom standpoint where I'm always having to like tidy everything up and make sure everyone's beds are ready for bed. And it was just all done. It was just all done. We would leave in the morning and we'd come back midday and the room was all put back up together. And then we'd leave again and we'd come back at night and all the beds were down and made. They, without me even asking, they must have just assumed because of her age. They put the bed rail on for the Addison on the bottom bunk. Rhett had the top bunk. Gavin had the fold down twin. It was just all already set up, which was
You didn't have to think
phenomenal.
about it.
Didn't have to
Yeah.
think about a thing. Like I just got to like go into my room, leave my
What
room, and it
did
was
your
just done.
kids think about? I mean, we've talked about the food, we've talked about the room, we've talked about the layout of the ship. What did they think about the shows? Did you take them to any of the shows?
So again, I am okay. So I say this, and I know a lot of parents are like, "Oh, my kids won't like the kids club." I said that. I was like, "Well, we'll see if they like the kids club. I'm probably gonna have to just like leave them there and hope for the best." No, it was they. I
They didn't
couldn't
want to
get them to
leave.
not go, so we didn't go to any of the shows with the boys.
Okay.
Um, we did go to The Little Mermaid. The first night we didn't go, and I honestly don't even remember which the first night show is.
It's kind of like a welcome to sailing. It's kind of a sailing, if it's still
Yeah. Okay.
with
I
Goofy
didn't.
is actually like the main character of it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then I should have gone. He's our boss. So, but we did go to the Little Mermaid, and that was really, really
Mhm.
cute. I
Okay.
really loved the way they did that. It really was like being on Broadway, like
Under the
what I
sea.
would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. They did such a good job. And then we also did Aladdin. We didn't get to
Oh,
stay to
yeah.
the end for Aladdin. We had Addison with us, and at that she was
She was
girlfriend had
maxed.
she was
Yeah.
she was maxed. And she really wanted to go somewhere on the ship. I think she
And it
wanted to go look for a
wasn't,
princess.
at Aladdin.
And it
Right.
wasn't at
She's like, I'm
Aladdin.
all
That's
done.
not what.
I'm all done there.
Yeah.
But the
Well, she kept saying, she's
quality,
like, "Where's Jasmine?" I'm like, "Okay, well, the show was called Aladdin. She's coming. She's gonna be in it, but it's
you got to
yeah."
wait
So
for it.
she was like,
But isn't the flying carpet and the way that they do the flying carpet so
"It was so
cool?
cool. It was really
Yeah.
cool." I almost wanted to be
So,
like, "Hey, Nick, why don't you take her out and I'll stay here?"
And
But I
yeah,
already
just
got
hang
my
out.
popcorn and my drink. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out. The one thing I was bummed I didn't get to do was the spa. I
oh,
gave up my spa treatment
Oh,
because we got the royal picnic.
that was nice of you.
that was
Which
very kind of you because that
Yeah.
spa,
Is the
I know.
best.
I
it's
gave
Yes.
so good.
my massage to
You're,
my parents. I was like,
That was very kind of you.
I
it
know.
was very nice of me. I'm a
Were you
very good
guys
daughter.
able to do any of the bars? Because I think that they have some
Yes,
incredible adult areas as
they were
far as,
incredible.
okay.
So we did the hyperspace lounge. So my dad is a big Star Wars guy, all of that, loves that. So that was really kind of nostalgic for me. Again, just incorporating my childhood in with my kids' childhood to me is like just a really cool thing to see. Um, and going to the Hyper Lounge was really cool. They had this like little smoke bubble thing that they did with all the fun
Yes.
drinks because you're in outer
Yes.
Yeah.
space.
Yes.
We did not order the $5,000 drink.
Oh,
My dad
darn.
still
I
thinks
mean,
that's fake. I know. I mean,
oh,
just
it's
pocket
real.
change. Oh,
I
it's
It's
mean,
real.
real.
after
Yeah.
after paying for Olaf's picnic,
Yeah.
I
You
know.
have to
I was like,
draw a
after
line
roll, wait,
somewhere.
I was like, we're rolling it after Olaf's picnic. No, I mean, we're still no. It was great. It was a wonderful experience. The I loved the hyperspace lounge because they were really interactive with the kids as well. Like they kind of took like that little smoke gun and like did bubbles in it and like we're blowing them with the kids and they just really incorporated them into our adult time so that like they enjoyed it, which made got to enjoy it, which was great. My favorites was Tiana's because it was just
Oh, I love the
there.
bayou.
Like,
Oh, I
yes,
agree. It's so pretty too.
and the
it's
little
so
beignets that they
gorgeous.
have there are so good.
Yes.
So
So
good.
good. They made a really
Yes.
good old fashioned. They had really great mocktails there too, as well. If you were kind of like, if you don't drink or if you're not into drinking, can't drink, uh, you know, um, they really, really did a great job with their whole menu. So I loved that. That was our favorite. And then my husband did at one point go to one of the adult only lounges.
Yes.
I didn't
Did he
go
go to the
that night to that
speakeasy or
one.
no?
I think so. Like
Yeah.
Nightingales. I think that's the
Yeah.
speakeasy. Yeah, he did
Okay.
that one. The one that we didn't get to go to was Ale and Compass and then Triton's Lounge. Those were the two that we didn't really get to experience. But they also had their, which is not a lounge, but their coffee, iced coffees that they had. And then like the cold foam that they could put on top and stamp all the characters onto. They also had edible straws, not just like paper straws or compostable straws. They were like sugar edible straws, which I still am trying to find on Amazon. They were so good.
Oh, those edible straws.
And like they were the different flavors, like chocolate and
Yeah.
coffee. And yeah, it was really everything. Our family can't stop talking about it. And every time a guest reaches out to me about a cruise, I'm like, so about the Disney Wish,
Let's talk
kind
about
of
the
my only
straws.
personality right now.
Well,
Yeah.
and truthfully, there are even some amazing deals if people are interested in sailing on the Disney Wish too. Like there's some amazing deals available for people. And again, it's such a great ship it's a great ship no matter what. But if you're like, this is our first time doing a Disney cruise, or we haven't cruised in a long time, or I have someone in my family that or you're like, I have someone in my family that they might get I'm afraid they might get seasick. A 3-night sailing is a great way to kind of test it and see. It stays fairly close to land. You're not going to go super crazy. This is no transatlantic cruise where you're like stuck in the middle of the ocean
For 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, this could be such an amazing thing. And again, like There's summer sailings that are
Right
amazing.
now, the
When I did the
discounts
Wish,
are insane.
yeah. When I did the Wish, I did the Halloween on the high sea sailing, and that
Yes,
was
which is
so much
so
fun.
much fun.
Yes.
It's truly amazing. And again, there's actually some discounts on some Halloween on high sea sailings. I
Yes.
cannot believe that, but like,
I know.
oh my gosh.
And they've been dropping, like, when we sailed, this was back in February, they had dropped that Disney Plus, and we had already reached our final payment date. I called and they still applied the discount for us.
Which was really
And that
nice.
saved, and it was 50% off the two boys,
Which is huge.
which is huge. That was like
Mhm.
a lot of money.
Yeah. So you were able to do Olaf's picnic. Like,
Yeah,
right?
so we were
There
able to do
you
a
go.
whole picnic. I was like, it's already spent. It's fine.
It's already, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So I love that Disney is so flexible when it comes to their discounts, and they don't hide their discounts. You know, they make us as advisors aware of them in a very clean and decisive way. Like, I love that they're not like hiding the savings that our guests can have. So, which is I love, because it makes it more attainable for people to do
I
more than
think so
once.
too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Mhm.
And I
Or
feel like
even do
Mickey,
their first one ever. Like, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
yeah.
Like, they're
But
like,
Disney
I
doesn't
can
nickel and
afford
dime
this.
you. Like what you
Yes,
see is what you
exactly.
get on a Disney cruise.
Yep.
You know, going in the things that you're going to pay extra for, but
Yes,
really
very cut and
there's
dry,
so
very easy.
many things that you don't pay extra for. So
So many things.
yeah,
All the you can eat ice cream.
the drinks,
Still,
you know, your soft drinks, your
yes.
beverages.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Most cruise lines you have to pay for those. So
Which is wild. I
yeah,
don't want to pay for
yeah,
lemonade
Yeah.
I know.
or
And the
sweet
fact
tea.
that like your main dining room meals are actually dining experiences, right? Like we were talking about
Yes.
Marvel and Arendelle, those are part of your
quality.
normal cruise fare. Like that's just
They're
that's normal
shows,
for
like
Disney.
they're
Yeah.
and it's
Experience. Yeah,
yeah,
it's an
and it's not
considered a
like it
show.
doesn't feel rushed to
No,
us. And maybe that's because we were at the late seating, but it was just it was great.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
I like the late seating just because I like to go to the show and then go to dinner.
Yeah. It made things feel very not rushed.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially like on your castaway day, if you want to spend the day and then you want to go
Yes.
back and still kind of either rest up or take a you know what I mean? Kind of get ready. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Some
it was
people
nice.
swear by the early dining, but
And I get that too. I totally, and this was 4 years ago. I probably would have done the early one and needed to do it. But, you know, we're at a point right now where we could do the late one. Also, the Rose, that lounge and that view when you're at sea is the most gorgeous, breathtaking thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It was just incredible to see.
It's beautiful, beautiful. For people who don't know, it's like a lounge bar before you go to Palo. So
It's up on like one of the topper
Yeah.
decks, and
yeah.
it's just glass as far
It's
as you can
beautiful.
see, and just panoramic
So for
views of
you,
the ocean.
so your kids were then 3, 6,
and 8.
3,
And
5,
8.
and 7, 3, 6, and 8 when they went on the sailing.
3,
Okay.
6, and 8.
And so for you, was it everything that you wanted it to be?
Everything and more.
Good.
Everything
Good.
and more. Honestly, it was.
As a
Go
travel
ahead.
consultant, do you feel like
Mhm.
experiencing it made you more confident in selling the product? Good.
For sure. I definitely think it was really important for me to do as a travel consultant, and then a really great experience for my family to have. And it just brings another layer of knowledge to my guests. And yes, I'm very versed in the Wish, and hopefully we'll do more sailings, but it just kind of how Disney's process works with Disney sailings. It definitely helps a lot with that.
No, I'm so glad it was a good experience for you and that you
too.
invested time and, and money into
Yeah.
going. But I'm glad that it was a good experience. And I think
Me
for
too.
your very first family cruise with Disney, you and your family being on the Wish, I don't think you could have done any better than that.
No, it was amazing. And Nick's
Yeah.
very happy that he made the decision to
I'm
come
glad
along with
too.
it and made it
Yeah.
possible so Addison could come too. And
Yeah.
so it was really great.
So
It was
what was like
wonderful.
the highlight for you? If you, the thing for you, not the kids, not your, like for you, what was the highlight?
Honestly, I loved okay, so I get guilty when my husband and I will always prioritize at least one trip a year traveling just the two of us. And I love it, but we're in the thick of like little kids right now. So I'm always like, but they could be here. So this was kind of the best of both worlds. We got so much time as a couple as like mom and dad when the kids were genuinely happy doing something else and they were still on vacation making memories, doing things, and we were also doing the same, and then we still got a lot of family time too. So it was really special that we got both, which I wasn't expecting at all. So that was,
No,
I think,
I love
my
that.
personal highlight, that
Oh,
my
Yeah.
husband and I were actually able to get some time together too, which is
Yeah.
not always the case when we're on a family
yeah.
vacation.
No, that's what I
Yeah.
love about the cruise, like in on the ship.
Yes.
What about Amy? What's your
Mhm.
favorite thing about the Wish?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna say that rainforest room on the Wish.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, like
Yeah.
I will say the
spa,
Wish
for
is
sure.
absolutely beautiful. Like it is. I'm obsessed with Disney cruise ships. You're all shocked by hearing that on this podcast episode. No way. But like the Wish is so beautiful, but that rainforest room is just like, I love all the rainforest rooms on Disney Cruise Line. I always make sure I get a rainforest room pass, but like that one specifically is so nice. The fact that it has the indoor outdoor space, like 10 out of 10. That's worth it every time. Like even if you only have a 3-day sailing, and granted, again, I sail without kiddos, so I'm in a little different boat, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's so worth it. What about you, Amy? What's your favorite thing on the Wish? Now that you've done it again and had a much
Yes.
better experience
I
than
did.
the
I
media
had
sailing.
a much better experience. That's so hard because you know that I am a spa girl. Like I love the spa, so I don't want to copy what you're saying. But the spa is different than any of the other ships. I really like the spa a lot. But man, I would say my favorite on the Wish was probably El Chante. Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing on the ship.
You guys definitely are making me want to try it.
Y'all, those tacos
Oh.
on the pool deck, though, 10 out
Oh,
of 10,
yeah.
friends.
I'm still dreaming about the taco bowl.
There's so many things that I could say that are my favorite thing on the Wish,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
awesome, right? Because it's
Yeah.
more
I
than
also love the
just the
size
one
of it.
thing.
For a
Mhm.
especially for a first time sailing, the size of it is like
Yes.
really,
Yes.
really
You don't feel
like
overwhelmed. You
no,
don't feel like it's overflowing.
But it's a
Yeah.
good
no.
size ship at the same time. So
Like it's
hey,
big. It's not tiny.
so as somebody who has like motion sickness issues, sometimes when you get on a bigger ship, you don't feel it as much. And so I really enjoyed that about the Wish, that it was like, ooh, I did not feel the rocking quite the same way that I have on some other ships. So
But Amy and I we both get super seasick. So
We
we're
discovered
a
that
good
about
time
my
on the first
kids.
night.
yeah.
Mhm.
Whew, we're like, ooh, we're
My
feeling
kids
that.
apparently are also get motion sick. We discovered that. So that was
And-
fun.
yeah, but see now for your
But now
next
we know,
one.
and that's
But
why I am going to tell all of my guests and all of you guys watching, even if you don't think you're motion sick or can get motion sick, or you or your kids have
so we
kids
have to go.
Bring some meds.
bring
For
it
sure.
just
For
in
sure.
case. If you don't use it, hey, Murphy's Law, maybe.
Great.
You bring it, you won't need it. You don't bring it, you need it.
Yes.
So
But just bring it. Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Did we hit kind of all the highlights, do you think, Amy? All the stuff that we
I
really
think
wanted to
so.
kind of
I
talk
think
about? The Wish is a
so.
beautiful ship. It's just, there's so
Yeah,
many
and like
things
Lauren was
about
saying,
it.
we could talk about this for like 5 hours, friends, but we probably
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah. No, I think we can probably kind of segue into our all in. I mean, I know we said our favorite things, but I think it's different. Your favorite things and the things you're all in on for sure.
So, welcome. If you're new, here's our Amy's All In, and yay, Lauren gets to participate with us today. We love to say something that we're all in about, usually related to the topic at hand. We're actually not going to say what we're all in on the Wish because we already told you our favorite thing on the Wish. Instead, we want to tell you, because we're talking to you also about cruising with families. And so today, our all in is that we want to tell you about one of our favorite or just a really special character interaction that we have each had on Disney Cruise Line and why it was special to us. So that is going to be our all in today. We're just going to tell you a little bit about cruising. And Lauren, do you want to kick it off and tell us, like, what is your special character experience that you had on Disney Cruise?
I already told you the one about Spider-Man, so I'm going to tell you a different one. Again, this is just about how how intimate the character interactions are. I told you we went to Olaf's Royal Picnic. We got to meet Anna and Elsa, and that same night, is when we had dinner in Arendelle. And mind you, we were dressed as pirates. when Elsa came around to our table, she was talking to us, and then she looks at Addison and she gets down to her level. She goes, Princess Addison, says her name. She didn't even recognize you. Were you out visiting other kingdoms today? You're dressed like a different princess today. And it was just so incredibly special. And Addison's like couldn't even like deadpan, couldn't even react. And I'm like, said her name. It was so special. So that's my all in. They hooked me there, hook, line, and sinker.
That's so funny. All in. There's so many that you think about, especially on Disney Cruise Line, because I feel like I've been stuck in the elevator with just Mickey. I've walked around the corner and seen a princess. Like there are just so many to choose from. It's hard. What about you, Amy? What is your all in character? I'm kind of curious about this.
Yeah, so mine would be from I've had quite a few. I won't lie. I am all in on meeting the characters, even as adult only.
Well, we have fun. I mean, and we talk to them, we engage with them. Like that's highlight.
You have to. It's fine.
Even when my kids were gone, I stood in line to meet Provincial Belle for sure.
Heck yes.
So I think like my most my favorite memory, at least at this moment, is my very first sailing on the Wonder. I got Royal Gathering, which Lauren was talking about as well. There's no cost to it, but you do have to like book a time slot for it. But you get to meet multiple like royal characters. So typically it's princesses along those lines. And so I remember I'm standing in line, adult only, and I was sailing solo. So it's just me standing in line. But then there's like all these families and little kids all around. And sometimes when you're traveling solo in those scenarios, the interactions can be a little bit awkward. More so with the like cast members that are taking photos and like getting you set up to go meet the characters sometimes. But honestly, every single cast member that I interacted with, from the people who were like, you know, do you want me to take photos on your phone for you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and then like they have like professional photographers and all that too. To the actual characters, everything just felt so natural. Like there was nothing awkward about it at all. Like Tiana was talking to me about making beignets, and I was explaining to her that I don't cook. You don't want me to learn how to make beignets. I'll just eat them for you. And then Belle and I were talking about the latest books that we had been reading, and like, it was just so cool. And so like if you're an adult sailing on Disney Cruise Line, please don't shy away from the character interactions, because they really are so cool. And the cast members are going to make sure that you still have a magical time too. Like the kids were clearly having a blast around me. Like it was super fun, but I had such a good time with that and clearly still remember it, even though that was a few years ago now. So what about you, Amy Blades?
There's so many good ones. Like but I think it kind of comes down to, for me, which our first sailing is a family on the Dream, and you cannot forget Captain Jack Sparrow. Seeing Captain Jack on these cruises, especially like at Castaway, and just the casting and the way it's perfection. And I think just the interaction and the conversation with him, and it was a lot of fun. And he's so funny. And I just remember saying I wanted to get a picture with our family. And then I'm like, and then I just want to get one by myself, because I want, for obviously like on Facebook or my website, or, you know what I mean? Whatever. I wanted one. And it was just so funny because there were a lot of moms that were in line, and like dads are rolling their eyes, and the moms are like, oh, sure, you need it for your website. Like it was just, I remember the whole interaction just being kind of fun. And I'm like, no, really, that's what I want it for. But just that whole Captain Jack thing, and watching like the moms, going to meet Captain Jack. That's one that I'll always remember.
And moms, if you need your own photo with Captain Jack, you do it. Like, it's fine.
Because if you don't, you'll regret it. So get it.
Yeah. So I just think that was fun. It was just funny, like the whole kind of making just a fun, silly thing out of it. So that was probably my all. There's so many really good ones though. But if you're a character person, Disney Cruise Line, definitely for you.
Yes.
For so many reasons. But yeah.
They do a phenomenal job.
I know. Hey, this is a perfect time to tell you that if you want to meet Captain Jack, or you want to meet Tiana, whoever it is that you want to meet, if you want to sail on Disney Cruise Line, if you want to go to Walt Disney World, if you want to go on a luxury vacation, Goofy Getaways Travel Agency is the place that you need to be. We are a fee-free travel agency. We have over 45 amazing consultants from all over the United States. We're the place for you. So if you already work with a travel consultant from Goofy Getaways, that's fantastic. But if you're looking for one, hey, just pop in on our website, www.goofygetaways.com, and check out the About Us. And you can take a look and see if there's an agent that you'd like to work with. And if not, hey, Amy, the other Amy, does a really good job of matching clients with our consultants. So definitely take a peek there. Go to our social media channels, which are on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. We are here definitely to help lead you to some magic. Is there anything that I'm missing on that, Amy?
I don't think so, but let's go ahead and tell people really quickly, since we were talking about Disney Cruise Line. And we would love to also sail with you. We are going to be sailing on the Disney Destiny next June. So please come and sail with Goofy Getaways. One of our travel consultants can help you book. We're going to be sailing in June of 2026.
I mean, what could be more fun than traveling with us? I mean, come on. And all of us. Oh, for sure. And we are offering some onboard credits, right? Onboard credits if you book before the end of the year. So yeah, check out that info. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Amy, because I mean, come on.
It'd be so fun.
And it's going to be on the Disney Destiny. And just so you know, those tacos, the pool deck tacos that we were talking about, those will be on the Destiny as well. So
super instant.
Really fun experiences to be had.
Yeah. Yes. We're super excited. And we're super excited for the possibility of having you join us. So come on. Come sail with us. Please. I promise it'll be fun.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much to Lauren for taking time to share her obviously very personal, very professional opinions and just sharing her family with us on this podcast. So if you would like for Lauren to be the one to book your trip, you can pop right on our website and you can link right to her. So other than that, I think we will see ya
real soon.
If you liked today's episode of the Goofy Getaways podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to follow Goofy Getaways on social media so we can lead you to the magic.